Yes, Dr. Austin Nweze joins us now, continuing with this national conference debate. You heard so much, I'm sure, on this matter, and read a lot of perspectives too, albeit controversial. But what do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm surprised some Nigerians were opposing this. I remember
surprised.
I'm surprised, because it didn't start today. When we were at the, I participated during the Abiola crisis and all that, and at the one of the events, we had these concerned citizens, and we published in the Guardian then that there's a need to restructure, and ever since there has been this, the pressure, this, to really look at Nigeria and see exactly what is going on. And then the President Jonathan wakes up in the morning, feels good on that very morning, and say, look, you guys have been advocating for this. Why don't we actually sit down and, have a talk? So now those people who've been clamoring for this now turn around and say, look, we don't trust this man. It's a matter of trust. And that's why I'm surprised that, look, it's a great opportunity for us to really restructure this nation and move forward. And like the late American President Ronald Reagan, said that the founders of America were those who had dreams and who had the courage to take risks. Why don't we look at the history? Go back to our founding fathers. They had a dream. Zik was called the Zik of Africa, not even Nigeria. The Awolowos of this world. Let us go back and find out exactly what were their dreams. What dream did they have about this nation? And take a cue from there and build on that. Okay? And then take that risk. Have the courage to take the risk.
Were they truly nationalists?
Well, I know that you can say that, yes.
Not regionalists?
Well, they were a bit of... It was during when I know that Zik, for instance, was a nationalist. And that's why he never had any in the eastern part. He never had any this thing. It was when he was rejected in Lagos that he had to go to unseat another Henshaw who happened, and that has been a squabble within the Calabar, Akwa Ibom region and the eastern, ever since. It always comes up. And then because Zik was not allowed to take his position in Lagos then. So, but you can say that they were nationalists per se, okay? But again, the regional interest came to play somewhere in between. But originally, when they were galvanizing support, you could say that they had a dream. Even though it was not pure, it was later on maybe truncated somewhere along the line.
What do you say to those who think, look, we'll be playing the ostrich if we don't address the way our leaders emerge into those leadership positions and just hope that this national conference, if and when it does hold, will sort our challenges out? Yeah,
it will be a good decision. But if I were the president, I will make sure that it holds. Because it will do him a world of good. It will aid his, that's the legacy he will leave for Nigerians. Beyond 2015, even if he doesn't contest. Okay. But I believe that, yes, with this conference, some of these issues will be addressed. And at the end of the day, we might come back to where we are. Nothing may necessarily change from the status quo. But for the fact that you have put them into this, okay, come, let us talk. We'll be speaking the same thing that is already... but some of you might come and say, look, all those things you people are talking about, is it not what we are doing currently? But for the fact that it has come from them, then there will be some kind of a sense of ownership coming from the people, rather than forcing it down on them.
So far, what do you see? Do you see the people owning or wanting to own this conference?
Oh, yeah. I see the people. But again, there's politics in this, like the opposition saying that they don't trust this man. It's all about politics. And the situation in Nigeria is so critical today that it should not be left in the hands of politicians alone. They should put aside their political leanings and face the nation.
Is timing of this proposed conference an issue for you?
Well, it's not really an issue. Anytime it's long over, it could have been held yesterday. To me, as far as I'm concerned. So for the fact that it has come now, where some, conspiracy theorists might say, okay, it's another way of saying, look, I'm having issue with my constituents, I'm having issue with governance. Let's put some distraction for them. Let them continue to...
Do they have a point?
Well, then it's possible. Okay, again, it's possible that they may have a point, but no matter what. And that's what Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, said about the invincible hand. Okay, the invincible hand for an entrepreneur is that, look, you are trying to make something for yourself, and in a process, you're creating jobs for other people. Let's say that you have interest, it's a wrong motive or something like that. But again, at the end of the day, the good for public good will we take the upper hand. So that's the point I'm making.
From what transpired in Edo State recently, don't you think that we're likely to have this whole process aborted?
No, I don't think so. The only thing is that it should be all inclusive. Now, some of the people in this thing there's no notable APC person. It's a level of trust. There's a trust deficiency in all that. I know that if they had included the whole people with different political leanings, or even people that are not partisan, then this issue would not have, because the chairman, Okurumo, is said to be a PDP man, the other man a PDP. So it's that guy. But I know that Colonel Tony Nyam, for instance, I don't think he's a partisan person, even though he has some interest in all that. Okay, and a few other people may not be listening. But again, the selection process that you mentioned again has always been an issue. So yeah.
I would like to call you a grassroots person, because a couple of times you've been on this program, you've told us some of your experiences with people, especially from your own locality.
That's right.
And if we say this should also be taken to the grassroots, how can they be heard truly? How do we bring them to this particular discourse to the extent that we can say it is truly nationalistic in outlook and not a few individuals or political parties or influential Nigerians coming to voice their opinions?
Now, just like when you come to school, you're doing your master's or PhD and all that, they ask you to do a research project. And you go out, you survey, and you don't take a random sample for your, which is a representative of, okay? And in the same manner, in any nation, it is not the grassroots that determines the way forward for a nation. It is the middle class, the elite, that determines the direction a nation should. And then they will now communicate with the grassroots to support. They have the grassroots support, okay, for that nation to move forward. So once we have that, the elite, then the elite will now communicate, put aside their selfish interests. The major challenge is that selfish interest. But we can have enlightened self-interest, in the sense that you know that you depend on the grassroots to give you the power for government's power is derived from the people. Okay? Then, if they know and realize that, and they reduce the influence of government on the people, then let the people begin to express themselves and, give that power, have a sense that they are the one actually giving the power to the government.
It's interesting you make this point.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, because a host of people have asked that question. How is it that we can involve the market women out there? How is it that we can involve the artisan? How is it that, those people feel represented or their voices are heard in this particular conference? Is that how, the way that you are proposing, is that how the voice of the artisan, can the elite truly represent the voices of these people?
Of course. Let's take, for instance, the barber that that cuts my hair, for instance. I know that each time I walk in there to do my normal stuff, there's no power. I don't need him to. He has voiced it to me. So when I get to represent him over there, I remember what my barber said about the cost of power, because the price moved from 15 naira to 500 naira. Why must I pay 500 naira? I say, oh God, we are buying diesel or fuel price increase. That's how you get, you don't need that barber, that artisan, to go there and represent. And he might not be able to articulate some of the things, some of the points that you, as an enlightened, as an elite, will be able to. But you understand because you live with them. So you go there, bearing all this in mind. Then you go there, you articulate. At the back of your mind, you know what the challenges that these people are going through. And then you make life easier for them. And you even tell them, look, there's a new technology you can use to do your tire for a vulcanizer, rather than putting it on fire and all that. If there is power, you can actually connect. Okay? You can actually connect, and a new technology can come up. Somebody can come up and say, okay, I'm going to invent something. Okay? Because, why I say the people? Because the creativity, the vitality and creativity, to build a nation lies on the people. So unless the leader unleashes this by, the things that he says, the things that he does, this nation will still remain the same. We need inspirational leadership to be able to galvanize this support so that the artisan on the street will know that. We need to rethink and reject our foreign policy to know that every Nigerian, the life of every Nigerian is important to the government anywhere in the world.